On February 14, 1643, in the Grand Mughal Empire, Bahadur Shah was born, destined to become its ruler at a time when the once great empire was beginning to show signs of decline. Known for his deep love of culture, poetry, and tolerance, Bahadur Shah I, also called Alamgir, stood apart from his predecessors in his approach to leadership. He was the son of Emperor Aurangzeb and his queen Nawab Bai. Growing up in the Mughal Empire was a grand experience. He was surrounded by beautiful art and rich culture that were part of his family's history. As a child, Bahadur Shah saw how his father ruled. Aurangzeb was a strong leader who focused on the army and followed Islamic rules closely. Bahadur Shah was different. He liked reading and learning about the arts. He often thought deeply about many things. His family supported his love for knowledge. As a prince, Bahadur Shah received a good education. He learned about running a kingdom and how to be a good diplomat. He also appreciated the poets and scholars of his time. They taught him to value the literature of the Mughal court. These early years were very important for Bahadur Shah. They helped shape who he'd become. He'd a royal background and a love for art and leadership. This blend would guide him as an emperor, helping him deal with the changes in his empire while respecting his rich Mughal roots. During Aurangzeb's reign from 1658 to 1707, Bahadur Shah played an important part in the Mughal court. He was one of Aurangzeb's sons, which gave him a chance to influence what happened in the empire. Bahadur Shah was known for his skills in talking to people and solving problems. He worked through the challenges of his father's rule while also thinking about his own goals. Bahadur Shah understood how to govern well. He tried to make his father's strict policies a bit softer. While Aurangzeb wanted to expand the empire and follow strict religious rules, Bahadur Shah believed in including different cultures. He saw how important it was to bring people together, especially during times of tension. Even though Aurangzeb's military actions often took the spotlight, Bahadur Shah's role was still very important. He helped calm the growing unrest in the Mughal Empire. He wanted to keep the ideas of tolerance and living peacefully together. His advice and actions helped reduce conflicts, especially in places where different religions were causing problems. Bahadur Shah had big dreams of being a great leader, but his plans hit a big bump when his father, Aurangzeb, put him in prison from 1681 to 1695. This time in prison was very hard for Bahadur Shah. His father wanted to keep his power strong and saw Bahadur Shah as a possible rival. Aurangzeb was worried that his son might try to take over, so he decided to lock him away. For 14 long years, Bahadur Shah was kept in a small, lonely place. He faced tough conditions and had very little freedom. He couldn't enjoy the nice things he once had, and he was always watched closely. Being away from the palace made him feel even more trapped. Even though it was a sad time, Bahadur Shah didn't give up. Instead, he used his time in prison to think about how to be a good ruler. He learned about the empire and how to keep it strong. He understood that being a leader meant balancing many different needs. In the end, Aurangzeb's fear made Bahadur Shah even stronger. When he finally got the chance to be free, he came out ready to take his place as a leader in the Mughal dynasty. He wasn't just a prisoner, he was a determined man ready to make a difference. As Aurangzeb's health got worse, a struggle for power grew in the Mughal Empire. This led to a war of succession in 1707. Aurangzeb had been away from the throne for a long time, and this created a chance for his sons to show their ambitions. His death would change the balance of power among them, as they all wanted to be the next emperor. The main contenders were his sons, Muazzam, Azam, and Kambakhsh. They moved carefully through tricky political situations, making friends and plotting against each other. Muazzam, who Aurangzeb liked the most, tried to gain support from important nobles and military leaders. On the other hand, Azam was brave and wanted to take the throne by force, thinking that strength would help him rule. As these groups formed, the conflict grew into a tough fight. Betrayals and changing loyalties were common, turning brothers into enemies. The Mughal Empire, once a great symbol of unity, was now close to breaking apart. In the end, the outcome of this war would decide who'd rule next and change the future of the empire. The events of 1707 showed how fragile Mughal politics were, and how the desires of royal family members could tear apart an empire that had stood strong for many years. After a tough fight for power, Muazzam won and became the ruler of the Mughal Empire. He took the name Bahadur Shah in 1707. His crowning ceremony happened in the Grand Red Fort in Delhi. This event was very important in Mughal history. During the ceremony, Bahadur Shah, I wore special royal clothes. He'd on the famous Mughal crown. This crown was decorated with shiny gems and beautiful designs. The crown showed his power and the big responsibilities he'd as a king. As he became emperor, Bahadur Shah promised to keep the legacy of his ancestors alive. He wanted to bring unity and stability during a difficult time. Many nobles, soldiers, and leaders from all over the empire came to the ceremony. They were eager to show their loyalty to the new emperor. During the celebrations, Bahadur Shah received blessings from religious leaders. This helped prove he was the rightful ruler. The festivities included music, dance, and lots of delicious food. They showed how rich and prosperous the empire was. Bahadur Shah's rise to power wasn't just about changing leadership. It was also a sign of the Mughal dynasty's strength. His crowning set the stage for his reign. He wanted to restore the empire's honor while navigating a complicated political world. After Bahadur Shah, I became the emperor. The Mughal Empire had many problems. One of the biggest challenges was dealing with the Marathas. Between 1707 and 1712, the Marathas became a strong power. Their fights with the Mughals could make the empire unstable. Bahadur Shah. I knew that fighting the Marathas could make things worse. So he decided to use diplomacy instead. Bahadur Shah. I wanted to talk to the Maratha leaders, including the successors of the famous Shivaji. He realized that making friends was important to keep control over the large empire. By giving the Marathas some freedoms and showing respect for their power, he hoped to create a partnership. This plan helped reduce the number of fights with the Marathas during his time as emperor. The emperor also sent messengers to the Maratha courts to encourage discussions instead of battles. These talks led to temporary peace agreements. This way, Bahadur Shah. I could focus on other important matters in the empire. Still, the Marathas were careful and sometimes tested the Mughal strength with small fights. In the end, Bahadur Shah's efforts didn't completely remove the threat from the Marathas. However, his diplomatic approach helped to lay the foundation for future talks. From 1707 to 1712, Bahadur Shah was the emperor of the Mughal Empire. He knew it was very important to have good relations with the Rajputs. The Rajputs were strong allies and played a big role in the empire. Bahadur Shah. I wanted to keep peace and support during his rule. To build strong ties with the Rajputs, he made some smart choices. He arranged marriages between Mughal and Rajput families. This helped both sides work together better. It also allowed them to share their cultures, which made both communities richer. Bahadur Shah. I respected Rajput traditions. He listened to their leaders and asked for their advice. This showed that he wanted to work together, not just be in charge. By respecting their ways and letting them govern locally, he gained their trust. During this time, many Rajputs joined the Mughal court. They helped with art and building projects. Bahadur Shah. I supported these efforts because he believed mixing cultures was good for the empire. This period saw many Rajput nobles taking important roles in the Mughal government. When Bahadur Shah Fateh became the emperor, he had to think carefully about how to get along with the Sikhs, especially with Guru Gobind Singh, who was the 10th Sikh Guru. The Mughal Empire had a mixed history with the Sikh people. Sometimes they fought, and sometimes they worked together. Bahadur Shah wanted to keep peace with the Sikhs, so he decided to be friendly and fair. Guru Gobind Singh was a respected leader. He was known for his strong spirit and his skills in battle. He helped the Sikhs become a powerful community. He taught them to stand up for themselves and their beliefs. Bahadur Shah understood that Guru Gobind Singh was important to the Sikhs. He wanted to respect the Guru while still showing that the Mughal Empire was in charge. To build a good relationship, Bahadur Shah took some steps. He allowed the Sikhs to have certain rights and recognized their religious practices. He hoped this would make the Sikhs feel valued and encourage them to be loyal to the Mughal Empire. This approach was part of his bigger plan to keep peace among different groups in his empire. However, there were still some problems. Guru Gobind Singh believed in fairness and justice, which sometimes clashed with what the Mughal Empire wanted. In 1708, a man named Banda Singh Bahadur became an important figure in Sikh history. This was a time when Sikhs were struggling against the Mughal rulers. After Guru Gobind Singh, the leader of the Sikhs, was killed, Banda Singh decided to help his people. He wanted to fight for their rights and freedom. Banda Singh gathered many followers. They all shared a common goal. Together they stood up against the Mughal Empire. Banda Singh became a symbol of courage and strength. He spoke for those who were treated unfairly. His bravery inspired many Sikhs to join him in this fight. Under Banda Singh's leadership, the Sikhs grew stronger. He used clever tactics like surprise attacks to take on the Mughal soldiers. His forces worked hard to free villages from Mughal control. One of his biggest successes was in 1710 when he captured Sirhind, an important Mughal stronghold. This victory showed everyone that the Sikhs were determined to fight for their rights. Banda Singh also helped the poor. He took land and wealth from the rich and shared it with those in need. This made him very popular among the common people. Even though the Mughal Empire would eventually fight back, Banda Singh's rise was an important moment in Sikh history. His actions inspired many others to continue the struggle for justice. His legacy lives on in the hearts of the Sikh community. The time from 1708 to 1712 was very important for the Mughal Empire and the Marathas. This was when Shahu became the Maratha king. After Aurangzeb, the Mughal Empire had a hard time keeping control over its large lands. Shahu's rise to power changed things a lot. He wanted to make the Marathas stronger and take more land. Shahu was smart. He used Mughal diplomacy to help himself and his people. He tried to make friends and get good deals from the Mughal court. He wanted to show that the Marathas could stand strong against the Mughal Empire while also being their own rulers. The Marathas, led by Shahu, took advantage of the Mughal Empire being weak. They often fought against Mughal forces to get back land that was lost. During this time, Shahu showed that he could handle the tricky politics of the Mughal Empire. He knew that talking and making agreements could help keep peace, even if it was just a little. As he worked for Maratha goals, the Mughal Empire had to think carefully about how to deal with the growing power of the Marathas. This time showed how power was changing in India. The Marathas were no longer just a group fighting against the Mughals. They were now a strong force that could make important decisions in the ongoing battle for power between the Mughal Empire and the Marathas. After the death of Emperor Aurangzeb, the Mughal Empire faced a lot of problems. Kambakhsh, one of Aurangzeb's sons, saw this as a chance to gain power. He wanted to create his own territory and bring together the nobles of the Mughal Empire. Kambakhsh believed he could be a strong leader and unite the people. In 1708, Kambakhsh gathered supporters who agreed with his ideas. They wanted a strong and united rule under him. He wanted to be a rival to Bahadur Shah, who'd just become emperor. Some Mughal nobles, unhappy with the new situation, thought about joining Kambakhsh. They saw him as a way to regain their power, Bahadur Shah. I understood that Kambakhsh was a threat. He acted quickly to stop the rebellion. He used his own supporters among the Mughal nobles. The situation became tense, and there were battles between Kambakhsh's forces and those loyal to Bahadur Shah III. At first, it seemed like Kambakhsh had the advantage, but in the end Bahadur Shah strengthened his position. Kambakhsh's rebellion didn't succeed, and the empire remained under Bahadur Shah II's control. As Bahadur Shah, I worked to make his rule stronger. The Mughal Empire started to lose its military power from 1709 to 1712. The emperor was busy dealing with problems inside the empire. This made it hard for him to pay attention to military issues that were becoming serious. During this time, the way power was shared in the empire changed a lot. The regional governors, called zamindars, began to act more independently. They often cared more about their own needs than what the emperor wanted. This made the central authority weaker and the imperial army less effective. Many soldiers didn't have enough training or the right supplies. Because of this, they felt less confident and weren't ready to fight well. Bahadur Shah. I also faced problems from other countries. The empire's strong military wasn't able to stop attacks from nearby states anymore. As the empire struggled to protect its borders, it couldn't keep up with new ways of fighting. Local powers began to grow, which caused more problems for the Mughal military. Friendships and rivalries among different groups changed, leading to more confusion. With the empire's military power getting weaker, Bahadur Shah Babwan found it hard to show strength and keep order. The Mughal Empire, once very powerful, faced big challenges because of old strategies and divided authority. The decline during these years was an important moment, hinting at the difficulties that would come for the empire in the future. Between the years 1707 and 1712, Emperor Bahadur Shah III worked hard to manage his relationships with nearby states. He knew that keeping peace was very important, especially since the Mughal Empire was losing some of its strength. To help with this, he wanted to create alliances with other regional powers like the Marathas, Sikhs, and Rajputs. Bahadur Shah, I believed in talking things over. He tried to make friends with local rulers by negotiating and making agreements. He offered some independence to these rulers in certain areas. This way, he hoped to gain their support and reduce any tensions. These diplomatic efforts were crucial for the Mughal Empire to stay important in the changing political world of India. He also sent messengers to nearby states. This helped him talk and share ideas with others. Bahadur Shah, I understood that communication was key to building trust. He wanted to be seen as a leader who respected local traditions and ways of governing. By doing this, he aimed to win more support. However, not everything went smoothly. There were still problems, especially with the Marathas, who'd big plans of their own. Despite these challenges, Bahadur Shah showed that he understood the importance of diplomacy. His efforts built a foundation for future discussions and relationships that would influence the politics of the entire region. Bahadur Shah Farid was an important emperor of the Mughal Empire. He ruled from 1707 to 1712. During his time, he noticed that many different religions were part of his empire. He believed that it was very important for people to get along, no matter what they believed. To make peace among the different faiths, Bahadur Shah created a policy of tolerance. This means he wanted everyone to respect each other. He thought that mixing different ideas from Hinduism, Islam, and other religions could help bring people together. Bahadur Shah. I like to talk with religious leaders and thinkers from various backgrounds. He wanted to learn about their traditions. By doing this, he showed that he valued the rich variety of cultures in his empire. He even included people from different religions in his government. This made his rule feel fair and brought loyalty from his subjects. One of the important things he did was to fix Hindu temples that had been damaged in the past. This showed that he cared about all religion. He also encouraged everyone to join in different festivals. This made a lively atmosphere where people could share their customs and celebrate who they were. Bahadur Shah's approach to religion helped create a more united empire. He believed that having many different beliefs was a good thing. His efforts to promote understanding and respect between faiths made a lasting difference in the Mughal Empire. His legacy of acceptance is remembered even today. Bahadur Shah was an important ruler of the Mughal Empire. He believed in treating all religions with respect. Because of this, many different cultures could share their ideas and art. During his rule, there was a mix of styles. This blend included Hindu, Persian, and Islamic art. Many beautiful things were created, like tiny paintings, detailed textiles, and impressive buildings. These works showed the unique Mughal style. Bahadur Shah also loved literature. He invited many poets, scholars, and thinkers to his court. He was a poet himself and wrote poems in Persian and Urdu. His court became a place where people could talk about important topics like philosophy, religion, and art. This led to many great books and writings that added to the Mughal culture. Under Bahadur Shah's guidance, the arts and literature flourished. This period was like a cultural rebirth, celebrating the empire's many traditions. His reign showed how a leader's ideas could bring people together and strengthen their cultural identity. Bahadur Shah. I left a lasting mark on history, influencing future generations. His support for the arts and literature helped create a rich cultural legacy that continued to grow even after he was gone. After the death of Emperor Aurangzeb in 1707, the Mughal Empire faced many problems. The empire became weak, and there was a lot of fighting among the leaders. This made it easier for European countries to try to gain power in India. The British and the French were especially interested in India. They wanted to trade and control important resources. The British East India Company, which was already trading in India, saw an opportunity. They used both talks and military strength to expand their control. They made deals with local kings and tried to weaken the Mughal rulers. On the other hand, the French were also eager to get involved. They wanted to compete with the British for control over trade routes. Both European powers began to interfere in local matters, which led to conflicts. Emperor Bahadur Shah was in charge during this difficult time. He tried to unite the Mughal Empire and bring back its former strength. However, he struggled to deal with these foreign challenges. His focus on the problems within the empire made it hard for him to see the growing power of the European. This time was very important for the Mughal Empire. The European powers weren't just traders now. They were becoming important players in Indian politics. Bahadur Shah's reign showed how difficult it was to keep control in a changing world. In the year 1711, the Mughal Empire decided to stop Banda Singh Bahadur. He was a strong leader of the Sikh rebellion and had become a symbol of resistance against the Mughal rulers. The situation was getting worse, so Emperor Bahadur Shah, I knew he'd to act quickly to restore control. The Mughal army, led by skilled generals, moved quickly to face Banda Singh and his followers. They used a mix of force and clever tactics. To weaken Banda Singh's support among the people, the Mughals built strong camps and carefully watched Banda Singh's movements. This helped them stay ahead of him. Banda Singh's forces were brave, but faced many difficulties. The Mughal army had better resources and strategies. They cut off Banda Singh's supply lines and surprised him with attacks on his camps. This made it hard for Banda Singh's group to stay strong. Even though they fought hard, the Mughal pressure was tough to handle. As time went on, more of Banda Singh's followers began to give up or run away. The Mughal army's well-organized approach showed how effective their plans were. By the end of 1711, the Mughal Empire had greatly reduced Banda Singh Bahadur's power. This helped the Mughal Empire become stronger in the region. After fighting hard against Banda Singh Bahadur, Emperor Bahadur Shah I faced some big problems. His health started to get worse between 1711 and 1712. As he dealt with different sicknesses, it became harder for him to rule well. This made it tough for his government to keep control. The ongoing wars and unrest in the country made him feel even worse. News about his health spread among the nobles and courtiers. This created worry in the empire. As Bahadur Shah became weaker, some people in the court saw a chance to gain power for themselves. This made his rule even more difficult. The emperor struggled to keep his advisors and military leaders in line. His strong leadership began to break apart as different groups fought for power. This fighting within his court made it easy for his enemies to take advantage of the situation. As a result, some of his important supporters started to lose loyalty. Even though he tried to stay in control, Bahadur Shah found it harder as others tried to take over. His health issues and the rise of rival groups created a tough time for him. This period showed a shift in power within the Mughal Empire. As his reign continued, these challenges would change the way leaders interacted with each other. Bahadur Shah I was the emperor of the Mughal Empire. In February 1712, he became very sick. His health was getting worse, and he knew he wasn't going to get better. When Bahadur Shah passed away, his body was in Lahore. His three sons quickly started fighting for the throne. They were Azam Shah, Jahan Shah, and Farrukh Siyar. Each brother wanted to be the next emperor, and this caused a lot of trouble in the Mughal Empire. Azam Shah was the oldest son. At first, he seemed to be winning. He got help from many important noblemen who liked his claim to the throne. But his brothers didn't give up. They fought back, and this led to many battles. These battles hurt the empire and made things unstable. Jahan Shah tried to get support from the army. He wanted to take advantage of Azam's weaknesses. Meanwhile, Farrukh Siyar, the youngest brother, worked quietly behind the scenes. He made friends with some important people in the court. As the fighting continued, each brother tried to get more allies. This showed how divided the Mughal leadership had become. Loyalties changed quickly. Friends turned into enemies, making struggle for power even more complicated. The war for the throne left the empire weak. The ongoing fights used up resources and weakened authority. This contest for power marked an important change in the history of the Mughal dynasty. It set off a long time of instability that affected the empire greatly. Bahadur Shah. I was an important emperor of the Mughal Empire. He had a tough job because his empire faced many problems. There were fights inside the empire and dangers from outside. But Bahadur Shah I worked hard to keep things stable. He wanted to make sure the Mughal Empire stayed strong. He tried to improve the way the government worked and build good relationships with local leaders. This helped the Mughal Empire stay present in many areas. During his time, art and culture grew a lot. Bahadur Shah. I loved poetry, music, and learning. He invited many poets, musicians, and scholars to his court. This made his court a lively place where creativity thrived. It showed the rich culture of the Mughal Empire and also included different local traditions. This mix of cultures helped bring people together in the empire. Bahadur Shah. I also wanted to reduce fights between different religions. He supported both Hindus and Muslims. He wanted everyone to live together peacefully. This was very important for keeping the Mughal Empire strong for a long time. Bahadur Shah, Firoz and Aurangzeb were both Mughal emperors, but they ruled in very different ways. Bahadur Shah, I wanted to create a peaceful and friendly empire. He believed in bringing together people from different cultures and backgrounds. He liked art and encouraged many forms of creative expression. This was quite different from Aurangzeb, who had strict beliefs about Islam. He enforced tough religious rules and followed a narrow view of his faith. Because of this, there were many cultural differences during his time. When it came to being a leader, Bahadur Shah, I was more about talking and working together. He thought that if people respected each other, they could live happily side by side. In contrast, Aurangzeb ruled with a firm hand. He focused heavily on his beliefs and didn't listen to others. This made many people feel left out and caused problems in the empire. These different ways of leading affected the Mughal Empire a lot. Bahadur Shah. I tried to mend the gaps between different groups in society. On the other hand, Aurangzeb's time is often remembered for creating divides among people. Bahadur Shah is remembered for supporting a mix of cultures. Meanwhile, Aurangzeb is known for the issues that arose from his strict rules. The different styles of these two emperors shaped the history of the Mughal Empire during their reigns and beyond. Bahadur Shah. Sanai was a different kind of leader compared to his father, Aurangzeb, and grandfather, Shah Jahan. Aurangzeb was known for being strict about religion and for expanding the empire through wars. In contrast, Bahadur Shah wanted to bring people together. He believed in understanding and accepting the different cultures and religions in his empire. He wanted to bring back the Mughal tradition of art and kindness, which had been lost during Aurangzeb's time. Shah Jahan is famous for building beautiful monuments like the Taj Mahal. However, Bahadur Shah didn't focus on building big structures. Instead, he wanted to make sure his government worked well for everyone. He understood that to keep his empire strong, he needed to listen to the different people living in it. Bahadur Shah. I showed that talking and working together was better than fighting. He wanted to create a peaceful society where everyone could live together. This was a big change from the way Aurangzeb ruled. Bahadur Shah tried to bring back the Mughal values of kindness and acceptance, hoping to create a happier and more united empire. Impact on future emperors. Bahadur Shah. I was an important Mughal emperor. He believed in unity and accepting different cultures. This was a big change for the Mughal Empire. His rule showed that including everyone could help the empire stay strong and successful. Future emperors like Jahandar Shah and Farrukhsiyar tried to follow Bahadur Shah's example. They saw that being kind to people of all religions and backgrounds could help them be better leaders. The Mughal Empire, which used to have strict rules, started to embrace new ideas about different communities, thanks to Bahadur Shah. But not every emperor stuck to these ideas. As time went on, some leaders faced challenges and began to ignore Bahadur Shah's teachings. This caused problems within the empire. When emperors didn't follow Bahadur Shah's way, they often had to deal with unhappy people and even rebellions. Bahadur Shah's influence was very important. It set a standard for what future emperors should do. Those who remembered his lessons had a better chance of keeping peace in the empire. Bahadur Shah's reign, though brief, showcased his commitment to cultural inclusivity and religious harmony during a tumultuous period for the Mughal Empire. His efforts to forge alliances with Rajputs and Sikhs reflected his vision for a united empire. Despite the challenges he faced, his advocacy for peace left a notable legacy. Following his death, the empire experienced further instability, but Bahadur Shah's approach to governance continues to resonate in the annals of Mughal history.